After an extremely slow start to his finals career, Jalen Williams is turning everything around. Simply put, he has figured it out. 26 points in Game 3, 27 points in Game 4, and a 40 bomb in Game 5. But how did a player who was averaging less than 20 points on a 33% shooting percentage turn it around to now be averaging 26, with some people even wanting him to win the finals MVP? I've always liked to explain J-Dub as a freight train with a floater. He is a very strong downhill player who has incredible touch around the rim and around the paint, who loves to loft it over bigger players. Combine that with just enough ball control and counters to get past his man, and you have a very hard player to guard. And the first thing that I want to talk about is his ability to attack downhill, something he's absolutely incredible at. J-Dub loves his crossover on the perimeter, and it's usually his go-to move, especially against a slower player like Miles Turner. And while he doesn't have the quickest first step in the world, he is certainly capable of leveraging his body to get the right angle. But it's the touch he has at his 6'6", 220-pound frame that really impresses me. Like right here as iHeart sets a screen for him and he finger rolls it high off the glass. Don't be mistaken, this is a difficult shot, especially when he's quickly headed downhill. We see this again right as he gets the ball over Miles Turner, one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. And it's not just that, but it's his overall touch around the rim that makes him very hard to guard and just one of the harder players in the league to even block when you meet him at the rim. But it's not just his touch or his ability to finish either, it's his ability to finish at the weirdest of angles. And that's what truly makes him an elite driver. He can finish one-legged, he can hit you with a scoop shot if you aren't directly in front of him, or even right here, he rejects the screen with a spin, takes the contact, and is still able to complete the shot due to his incredible balance. Right here, he's running to the left and shooting to the right. It's quite an unorthodox shot, but he has absolutely no issues hitting it. And then on this possession, he shows his toughness down low by getting his own board and going right back up with it. It's really not surprising to me that he finishes around the rim at a rate of 73%, which is one of the best marks in the NBA. But that doesn't surprise me at all. Yes, he's a great dunker who can finish over you, but as we saw, he has a great touch, he has a great floater game, and he can finish at the weirdest of angles, and he has great just body control and balance overall, something not every player has, and that's something that really distinguishes the good from the elite player. But with all that, that is only one element of his game, and something adding on to this is his ability to draw fouls, something that has massively changed in the last 3 games. In the last 3 games, J-Dub has been to the line at least 11 times per game. For reference, he's only done that over the course of the entire season 1 time, so to do that in 3 straight games in the finals is a clear impact of that he is turning up the intensity when it comes to driving to the hoop. But beyond his finishing ability and his ability to draw fouls at a pretty good rate, he is also a very good pick and roll ball handler, and that's something I've noticed he looks a lot more comfortable in since the last time I've studied J-Dub. This postseason, he sits in the 81st percentile of all players in the pick and roll, and he is scoring about 8 points per game in the pick and roll alone, but he can do more than just pass, and that is shown by plays like these in this good feed to iHeart. He loves to go over a screen but then cross back over, coming right back to where the side he was attacking from, something the defense usually isn't ready for, and again we see a dime, this time to Chet. Here we see another good pass as he goes through the iHeart screen, Obi sags down, losing Chet Holmgren, and that is just a great pass. And the Thunder love to counter the pick and roll with a ghost screen. Simply put, a ghost screen is when the screener will go up and just tag the hip of the defender, making them think that a screen will be coming. The defender usually then expects contact or is ready to switch with his teammate, which causes him to hesitate or even go to the other side. Against defenses that are hyper aggressive on screens, or against defenses that like to switch against screens, this can lead to an open shot for the player that sets the ghost screen, or the ball handler has a great chance to attack to the hoop. And we see the Thunder do this a lot as you look at these 2 possessions with J-Dub and SGA. SGA goes up to set the fake screen, it makes the defender hesitate for just a second, and that gives J-Dub the room that is needed to attack the hoop. When used properly, a ghost screen is a deadly counter to an aggressive defense. Adding on top to his ability to score out of the pick and roll, he is also quite the passer just in general. This year, he averaged 5 assists per game with just 2 turnovers, and that ratio has actually gotten better in these playoffs. J-Dub usually makes the safe pass, but his passes are accurate, often right in the shooter's pocket or out of a drive and kick scenario. And when you have someone who is as lethal as a driver and as strong as Jalen Williams, you are going to draw a lot of defensive effort, opening things up for the rest of the offense. While his assists in the finals are down a little bit, don't let that fool you that he isn't a great passer. So we know he can drive at an elite rate. We know he is one of the best pick and roll scorers in the league, and he can complement that with a good passing game. But there is even more to J-Dub's arsenal, and that includes his shooting and especially his mid-range game. As a catch and shoot player, J-Dub sits as an average to above average shooter. He has, however, struggled in these finals, shooting just 31%. However, this season, he was a 37% shooter who shot 40% on catch and shoot opportunities. From 3, he shoots about 32% on pull-up shots, seeing that on plays like this familiar crossover. But when it comes to the mid-range, that is a different story, and that is where J-Dub becomes one of the most underrated players in the game today. Look at him fight through contact and rise up over a group of people to hit this shot. Or right here where he's looking for the foul, but tell me that doesn't look like the best mid-range shooter in the NBA, his teammate and MVP, Gilgeous-Alexander. Right here, he is showing off the shoulder bump with his strength, and personally, I'm okay with this being a no call, and that is an open shot. Or on this possession, he has the Jordan-esque shimmy at the free throw line. And these aren't just cherry-picked plays. During the regular season, from 10 to 16 feet, J-Dub shot about 52% from that range. That is the same as guys like Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Tyler Hero, and Chris Paul, all guys who are elite from the mid-range area. According to NBA.com, he ranked 5th in total pull-up two-pointers, just behind guys like Booker, SGA, Durant, DeRozan, and Jalen Brunson. In my opinion, these stats and just watching him probably makes J-Dub a top 6, 7, 8 mid-range shooter in the entire NBA, but it seems like that skill is not talked about when we look at his overall skill set. However, you can argue that his mid-range shot is the best part of his game, and he is just barely below Gilgeous-Alexander. And this all stems from his ability to drive, finish at weird angles, and dish the ball out to his teammates at an efficient rate. But even off the ball, he is still an elite player, like on this inbound as he fakes going over the Chet screen, and that gives him an easy layup. Right here, I absolutely love this action where Caruso sets a screen, sending J-Dub downhill at the basket, and that's easy to score on. During the regular season, J-Dub sat in around the 82nd percentile as a cutter, but in the playoffs, that has jumped up to the 89th percentile, averaging about 2 points per game. And that is done by plays like these, as look at how he flies in here when Halliburton gets distracted. Or on this play, iHeart misses his own shot, gets the rebound, J-Dub gets a run at the basket, and I'm sure you can guess what happens. And it should be no surprise that J-Dub is elite in transition as well, scoring around 4.5 points per game in the playoffs in transition, a mark that is absolutely insane. Despite being a perennial star, he hustles just like anyone else in the league, and it's no surprise to see him usually leading the fast break or ready to follow up on a miss. Simply put, Jalen Williams has figured it out. His scoring and his efficiency is increasing nearly every single game. While he is the Robin to SGA being the Batman, that doesn't mean that Robin can't have a big breakout game and be the reason why the Thunder take a pivotal game against the Pacers. J-Dub also really doesn't have any overall weaknesses. Even though I broke down his offensive game and showed why he is at least average to above average at just about every single aspect on offense, that's also not counting the fact that he was an all-NBA level defender this year. So yeah, he may be dropping like 21, 5, and 5 while having one of the best mid-range games in the entire NBA and being a very lethal co-star to SGA. You can't forget, he is a lethal defender on that side of the ball. He may not get a ton of steals or blocks, but if he gets matched up against you, you're going to have a very, very rough time. And that's basically just a mark for this entire OKC defense in general. At 23 years old, in just his 3rd season in the league, you can make the argument that he is going to be, if he isn't already, one of the best number 2 options in the entire NBA. But I think performances like we have seen in the last few games is just the start for him. Remember, this was his first time being nominated as an All-Star this year. This was his first time being an All-NBA level player this year. Now this is his first time in the finals, and he is clearly rising to that level. While his offense still has a little bit of rounding out to do, especially from the outside game, I am starting to think he is destined to be on that path. Jalen Williams hasn't just figured out the Pacers and he hasn't just figured out the NBA Finals. He might have just figured out how to become an NBA star. Guys, that is it for this one. If you like the video, you know what to do, but I will catch you all later.